Hi, and welcome back to NullSpace, episode 2.
Yeah.
I'm Scott Null.
And I'm Jerome Kutka.
Hey Jerry, how was work today?
That's all right, actually. Not too bad. I keep on getting a lot of these kids coming in, and they're picking up a lot of older titles, but these kids are like 10 years old, but they're like buying like 64, Game Boy Color, NES, like all the old classics. I'm like, how in the fuck are you hearing about these games? They're like, I just don't understand, but it's pretty cool.
That's a good topic for today. New gamers, old games.
New gamers, old games.
All right, so let's explore, I guess. How are kids learning about these games?
I guess, let's just say the internet for one fucking example, I guess.
Cop-out answer, but I suppose we'll take it.
But, yeah, AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd, he's helped out a lot of people that's come into the store, I think, because I always find out of when kids are buying certain games. It's like they're buying Bad Dudes or... what the fuck else? What kind of?
Are you a bad enough dude to save the president, Jerry?
God damn right I am. Ikari Warriors. I sold a couple copies of that, and I'm like looking at Ikari Warriors. I'm like, it's AVGN, man. I'm like, yeah, AVGN.
You're a big fan of AVGN.
I am.
I've seen a couple episodes. I saw, what was that truck game where the truck would be going?
Oh, Euro Truck Simulator thing? No, that's the what was it? That's not, is it? I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
Oh well, it was a good episode, and yeah, it was entertaining. Personally, I watch Game Grumps occasionally.
Oh, Game Grumps is great.
Something that encouraged me to go ahead and try my own personal terrible game. The game that still gives me nightmares. The game we talked about last week, signed for 2006.
Oh,
we'll skip that though. We'll talk about that.
I own a legit copy of that game before it was bad.
I've got the strategy guide now as a gift for beating it.
That's true.
And boy, is that rag helpful.
God, it's a violation. Just beat the game 6 times, you're fine.
Oh my god. Well, back to it. Yeah, YouTubers definitely are talking about these classic games. Younger kids are watching the Let's Plays and stuff, and well, they're going out and buying them. Also, the constant re-releases. The eShop, download stores, I mean...
Well, yeah, they make a quick buck out of that. You know, it's they don't have to develop anything. They just got to develop the ROM code and just throw it on the eShop, and you're all good to go.
Earthbound finally made it to the States just last year.
After so much bitching. And it's like, I'm not bitching about the bitchers. I'm like, Nintendo, really? Come on, you just that's what they want. You got to release it. Come on, Nintendo. Get on the game.
So you think that's making people go out and look for the hard copy now that they've actually played the digital?
Well, here's the thing. At the store, we had a copy of Earthbound, and that thing still didn't drop in price. It was even more sought after at that point.
Oh, yeah,
it brought up more publicity for the game.
It was going up in price. I got my copy here. If you're out there and you want to buy it, please contact me. It's just sitting there.
Rather have some sort of home to play it.
Yeah, it's somebody to enjoy the game. Then we'll bring that up in a bit. But
yeah.
Other ways they're seeing it, remakes. Majora's Mask, we talked about last week, but is out again as a remake on the 3DS.
Yeah, but they did make some changes out for the title because they wanted to make it a little more easier for a new demographic coming in, such as the younger generation.
But if they've got it out for they've got it updated, are the young kids still buying the older one?
Probably not, because I think they were just more or less worried that the game was too hard. Because I actually saw some videos on it, and they actually have points where you can actually look into you need to go here and you can follow that and you can follow the stepping stones. Oh, they made it a lot easier for people to understand where to go, where to lead, and for level design.
That's true. I was messing with the Water Temple. Everybody's favorite in any Zelda game is the Water Temple.
Oh yeah.
And now they show you where to shoot the ice arrows, which I mean took less time, but I was kind of pissed. I'm not an idiot.
But I guess it's nicer for the younger generation to get into, which is not too shabby. I mean, a lot of the games that I grew up as a kid, of course, they were horrible. Like I will say from the last episode, like Yo Noi, they're not gonna fucking remake that. But that was more of my, childhood anger. But I don't think that kids are gonna experience that until I guess somebody like Game Grumps
or mentions it.
Yeah, or
and
AVGN.
says, hey, look at this.
I want to say off that I love these guys, Game Grumps and AVGN. Those guys are fucking awesome. I'm not gonna insult them, whatever. Because I love them.
My favorite thing to do is just to get off work on a bad day and watch, especially the animated ones.
Oh, they're so much fun. All you animators out there, oh my god, you guys are great. Seriously,
just so much talent, and we've watched them in the store. I can't tell you how many times.
Oh my god, we just that killed most of our Sundays sometimes.
Just laughing,
just sitting at them.
Good time watching those.
Anyways, back to everything. But yeah,
especially DuckTales was remade. Do you think people are going out and buying the original now because they can remember it and they want to see the difference?
I haven't seen too many people requesting at the store for that game. Pretty much. But I think the DuckTales is not too big. I think that's why Disney's trying to reboot the series.
They're actually trying. Yeah, they're rebooting the cartoon.
Yeah, and I think that will probably spark up more interest into the game in itself, and then more people.
See, actually, they were saying because the game was selling so well, that's why they're bringing the cartoon back.
Oh,
and
okay.
Capcom has mentioned.
And I was asked backwards.
Capcom always promises things.
Oh, Capcom!
But Capcom has mentioned possibly bringing back other Disney series.
Not fucking Mega Man! I want my fucking goddamn Mega Man!
Not Mega Man, but maybe Darkwing Duck, maybe even better Rescue Rangers.
Rescue Rangers! Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah.
Though I suppose we already have enough games where I can just throw you off a cliff. We don't need another one, but that was all I did growing up. Rescue Rangers. I would have so much fun, we would cackle. When I was 6, we never made it past level 1 because we would just sit there laughing at the stupid chipmunk faces when you throw blocks at their heads and stuff like that.
I don't know this, but did Capcom actually make the DuckTales remake, or was it a separate studio, or they were just the publisher? Do you know?
I believe it was Capcom.
Okay, I was asking because I don't know, because Capcom usually likes to focus on DLC bullshit, such as Street Fighter. That's Minecraft. We'll come back to Compact.
We'll rag on Capcom another day.
Okay, sorry.
Right. Another thing that may be causing so much interest in classics are the constant references made by games today.
Oh god, like the trailer I just fucking watched last night, Pixel.
Oh, the trailer for the Pixel movie, yeah.
I'm Adam Sandler with my Mini Cooper and I saved the world.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh fuck, really?
I did like how the license plate said the ghost names, and yeah,
that's
about all I like.
I'm a movie snob, so all you people will fucking realize that I hate everything. So
that is true. You do hate everything.
I hate everything, but I also love everything at the same time.
I got a few little chuckles out of watching it, like the line, it's just a barrel, how much can it hurt? I thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah. Was this, because I know they were supposed to make a Space Invaders movie or an Asteroids movie. Was this their compromise?
I'm kind of glad they didn't, because look at Battleship.
Oh my
god. I mean, I can definitely see this is going to be a movie that parents take their kids to.
Well, I know, because the parents are going to go because they remember the nostalgic, and then I'm going to have the new kids trying to get newer nostalgic. Does that make sense? Newer nostalgic?
Well, that's what something right there. That kind of one of the rumors I hear that My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, was actually created for dads to watch with their kids, because there'd be the little references that
with Doctor Who's.
Yeah, grown men can enjoy.
I thought she was just a fan of Doctor Who herself, and this was supposed to be like a show for something girls could actually fucking watch, because a lot of girls is like, sparkles are great for them, but actual entertainment,
See, I think
girls are people too, damn it.
I think it was supposed to pull in the adults and the kids that have them, as a
family
watch it.
I think we're really getting off track of video games now.
Well, the reason I'm bringing that actually is a really good point, though. Parents bringing their kids with these classic games. Mm-hmm. Do you think that might have something with sales that these younger kids getting with older games?
Well, I guess I was, bringing it back to my childhood, I guess I was really extremely lucky, because my dad had the 2600 and we didn't have the Nintendo yet. He's like, oh, you fucking play that. I'm like, I will fucking play that. And I was a fucking 2-year-old. I didn't give a damn, I swear. But yeah, I was raised up on Asteroids and Space Invaders and the original Star Wars games on the 2600. It was so fucking awesome. But that's why I love these games so much, because they were my upbringing right there. And I guess I am a newer nostalgic for those things, because I'm not even 30 yet, and I still love 2600 so much.
I had one of my earliest memories is watching my mom. She was a huge gamer back then, beating Super Mario Brothers 3, one of my current favorites. I suppose that could have a reason right there. Yeah. My dad was a bigger fan of the Commodore 64. we had one of those, and watching him play Choplifter was just hilarious because you'd see the little stick people running out there, and you'd go down and he'd just crush them, and then they'd go, and he would just laugh, and I would laugh because he was laughing. Another thing I watched him play, of course, Dad was on the police force. One of the best shots on the police force. Yeah. He would sit for hours on end playing Duck Hunt. And I would play with, the gun right to the screen. Dad would
fucking cheater.
Dad would be across the room, and I never saw the counter get that high in my life. Level 85. Oh my god.
Mind blown.
The duck's going faster than light itself, and there's But other than that, games themselves keep making references to their older...
Konami code has been in so many goddamn fucking video games. Like, even references that are not even Konami games are with the Konami code.
That's true. Zelda makes references to the original Zelda constantly. Majora's Mask I was just playing. I didn't even remember this.
It's a secret to everybody.
It's a secret to everybody right in there. And right there brings us to another example. Memes.
Fucking memes!
Who hasn't heard it's dangerous to go alone, take this?
It's dangerous to go alone, take this! I love you, Game Grumps. Seriously, you're so fucking great.
And not to mention... all your base are belong to us.
All your base are belong to us. Base.
What else is out there? Cards Against Humanity. You must construct additional pylons. Wizard needs food badly. There's all these classic.
I have so many T-shirts of died of dysentery of Oregon Trail.
Yes, exactly. That was my Facebook background for the longest time. Was the tombstone that just said Scott, and then, of course the epitaph was ashes to ashes, ducks to ducks, which is a shout out to Taishi and BCB. No, none of the people listening are going to know what that is.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I'm great. The that do will know exactly what kind of little girl that I am on the inside. Actually, there's a shout out right there. Casey Green of comics like Horribleville, Gun Show are what convinced me to play through Sonic the Hedgehog 2 last summer because
that's right, yeah.
I showed you his comic The Ring.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Taishi of Bittersweet Candy Bowl would also she did the entire Sonic the Hedgehog series, which really made me want to play Sonic again, too.
Right on.
Two artists that I absolutely love. Sorry, just had to do one little shout out there. But
and have boners for you guys, just so you know I love you!
But right there, it is exactly what it is. Those got to me. I've played this game in the past, but I wanted to play it again. And I did end up buying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you only bought it after you beat it. It's like, I've earned the right to purchase this game.
That is true.
And this whole $5.
Well, because that was Super Mario Brothers.
Was that Mario Brothers?
I didn't beat that one. That was the store demo copy. But I had beaten it so hard so many times that didn't you notice? Remember when the game started glitching out and cheating?
Yeah, it was fighting back at you, giving you the middle finger.
It was getting pissed. That was the first time I've ever seen a game.
I just fell through the fucking level. I'm like, yeah, you sure fucking did. It was awesome.
I've never seen that in my first Mario game. It was they were the Hammer Brothers. I didn't know this, but they actually do chase you after a while. If you
that was cool. When you showed me that, I'm like, I did not fucking know that. You just sat there and they're inching towards you. I'm like, holy fuck! It's like Silent Hill moment. She they're coming. Oh my god!
The game was glitching out and it was fighting back. We thought it gained sentience for a while there. But how are kids? If they are coming and buying them. Would you say that's the majority? Because, I'm getting
a couple kids actually not buying games that, that Game Grumps plays or that AVGN plays. I'm I don't know their whole library of videos that they play, but these kids are literally just looking at my whole library and they're picking what's that one? I'm I just give it to them. I was can I just try it out for 5 seconds? Yeah. And he's this is stupid. I'm going to buy it. And they're excited for the fact of buying something bad.
I suppose that kind of brings us back to more or less just the opposite. But remember when we saw which Contra was it for Genesis?
Oh my God, Corpse, wasn't it? Contra Corpse?
It was Core.
Core. Okay, yeah, it was
Corpse.
Core. Fuck.
Watching that robotic.
Was the dog and
the robotic lion of the robot?
And he's dancing Disco with Dito.
It was so incredibly 90s.
Oh my God, it was so great.
If
I popped it on the TV and I let it go into demo mode for 3 hours a day. I'm I love this so much.
So I suppose it's about the same thing. Also, the same reason that I had to go out and when came in the store, the Home Improvement game.
Oh, fucking homework. You didn't even know, like, it's here. It's here. It's here. It's really here.
It was just there. It was just sitting on the shelf one day.
Literally, yeah, it's been fucking
And
here.
I've been laughing about Home Improvement since I was a kid. I don't know why. That show tickled me, just makes me tickle pink. And I have
It's so dandy about it.
And I saw that there was a video game for it, and I just, my
Hey, you went ape shit.
Yeah.
You bought that immediately in fucking cash. And he was like, it's coming home with me.
Not necessarily the same thing right there, but it's a terrible game. If you haven't played it yet, please do.
I also had this kid too. Like he was this huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, also a big '90s and '80s kind of movie buff kid right there. But like he's like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Oh, I love all these. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, The Terminator." I'm like, "You fucking watch those?"
Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Yeah. Oh, I love Blood Dragon. It's so fucking cool.
Same feeling, right? That's what they were going for.
But he would actually come in and actually specifically request Arnold Schwarzenegger games on Game Boy, NES, and he was like going for like it's like hey, Dad was like, "You want the 360?" So I was like, "No, I want this." He wanted Terminator on Game Boy, and like, fuck, okay, kid, and like this.
So he's got problems.
He was a cool kid. But another kid today, he bought a Game Boy Color just because he just loves fucking Game Boy. He didn't want a 3DS, he wanted just a Game Boy.
I saw this dress at Hot Topic, and it was just the Game Boy Color. It was just, kind of that rectangular shape, too. Mm-hmm. I was showing that to Kelsey. There's another thing, Nostalgia Factor. Hot Topic selling all of these older references that I would have thought that kids that shop at Hot Topic would be almost too young for.
Just over their heads completely?
Or is the fact that the YouTubers and the Let's Players, are they bringing this stuff back?
It's possible. Like, I mean, look at us, man. Like, what are we doing right now? We're talking about classic gaming and the industry, and we just love talking about this crap. And maybe some kid out there is probably going to catch up on us. And
I suppose we do drop a lot of game names.
Yeah.
So, the Contra Core, we'll have to look up the actual name.
I'm stupid.
All right. Other than that, kids are playing these games by coming in the store. Would you say that's the majority? Would you say that...
No, it's not the majority. It's not the majority at all. The kids that come in for that around that age are playing Minecraft or Call of Duty, or some of them, of course, Madden. Those are like the top three that always sell at all times.
True.
Sports shooter, first-person shooter online, and Minecraft.
Well, the kids that are coming in and buying these games, would you say that they are buying these games in stores, or do you think a lot of the stuff they get is digital? Either re-releases or pirating through ROMs, because getting ROMs is so easy. And actually, I do applaud anyone who goes to a secondhand store, supports a local business, by buying hard copies versus just stealing the game.
I think some of those kids, I will give them a lot of credit, because even like when I was that age, like, you don't question their intelligence, because those games, like, they do play differently when you have a ROM compared to the actual hard copy, because you can do like weird tricks to the cartridge or whatnot like that, and some kids actually know that they can do that because they do find out by the other YouTubers, like Majora's Mask has weird fucking tricks that you can do with it for like speed runs, like tilting the cartridge or whatnot. But a lot of these kids do watch these YouTube videos, because PewDiePie and whatnot, and like, I'm sure they don't talk about it, but there are a lot of other famous game players out there on YouTube.
Oh yeah, the speedrunners. Speedrunning, a lot of times just having that on in the background, maybe not even having sound, but just watching the speedruns. Mm-hmm. I was just watching the record for Ocarina of Time was just beaten. Mm-hmm. It was a glitch speedrun. But if you can do the stuff this guy was doing, I applaud you. I don't care if you glitched it or not, because it was
man, it squeals, yo.
It was amazing, and made me feel quite ashamed of my own skills. But I'm
also wondering if they're actually starting their own collection too, because like, I started collecting shit God knows how long when I was a kid. Like, I have Star Wars toys all still in the blister packets. Maybe the kids are like the same way. They like having their physical copies.
Well, there's a subject for you. Why are they collecting? I mean, do you actually believe that these younger kids are playing these games, or do you think they're just buying them to have them?
I know one kid is not, like, when I talked to him, because he would play the shit out of them, but he wanted to play them. Like, he traded in his 64 of GoldenEye, Mario 64, and Star Fox 64. And he's like, yeah, whatever, I'll trade it in. And he bought something else retro with it. But he was just constantly...
he was kind of renting them, but to play them.
Pretty much, yeah. He wasn't I think he was more like just actually trying to experience the games and not actually collecting them. But that's still a good point. He could have downloaded the emulators. He's not a stupid kid, but I think he actually just liked playing the games.
Because I mean, a lot of kids these days, I really, in my opinion, they're not buying these games to play them. It's almost like, how could they, with all of the competition they have out
all the
there
competition
for
out
their
there?
attention? But still, it's more of a bragging rights. Like, Angry Video Game Nerd talked about this game. I own it. Have you ever played it?
No.
That's what I'm worried about. Is that, I mean, there are collectors out there that truly do enjoy their collection, and these kids are taking from them by buying up resources that they're never going to use.
I'm probably guilty of the same thing too, but I'm trying to whittle down my collection and actually try to appreciate the games I do have.
I've seen your collection though, but I have this feeling that at some point you'll play them.
I will when I have time, yeah.
Compared to just a curio cabinet full of cartridges and saying, I own these.
Look at this, Danny. I have 12 copies of Madden 2006.
It's kind of like that copy of Pokemon Yellow that came in the store in French.
Oh, it fucking came back.
Did someone buy it finally?
No, someone bought it, and then another one came in. I think it's a different copy.
Oh my.
I have no idea where the fuck these things are coming from.
But it's like, you're not buying that to play it, because how much, I mean, if you don't speak French, which I'm assuming whoever buys a copy of Pokemon Yellow...
I'm trying to learn French, but you were speaking about the other day, if it was in Japanese, you would have bought it because you wanted to learn Japanese.
I actually have, I have green in Japanese.
Yeah.
And my translation was kind of awful. I do believe at one point I translated Professor Oak. It took a long time, but I translated Professor Oak's little speech in the beginning, and I got that he was the Pokemon professor. But then it came out as, I'm the Pokemon professor. Everybody loves me, and I don't think that's quite right.
You know what? If I'm trying to learn French, maybe I'll pick up that damn copy.
But still, that's a little different than just saying, "Look what I own."
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, I did that just earlier when dropped Earthbound, but I'm trying to sell Earthbound because I feel like it's just sitting there, and I have the digital copy now, and it does me no good to have the hard copy as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple rare games in my collection too, which I'm like, well, I don't have a nostalgic attachment to this, and I know other people do, and I was thinking about maybe I can sell this thing and maybe get something that I do feel nostalgic and I would love playing.
So do you believe that these kids that are buying games, do you believe the majority are actually playing them, or do you think that they're... Because personally, I would say that they're just...
It's a mix and match. It really is. Like, the couple kids that I do come in contact, they are legitimately playing them, and then the other ones are just going on to the fad train, where I'm like, oh my god, this is cool. Like, kind of like The Room. Like, we watch The Room just because it's a fucking joke. And then, you know, this is kind of the equivalent to the video game realm of, like...
I suppose I did buy The Room. And I did buy the Home Improvement game, but I did play it too.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. Like, you don't buy a fucking game to look at it. These kids are looking at it just like Ikari Warriors. Like, those were two kids that came in. And they were looking to play this, fucking laugh at it, and get frustrated, and just have a good time, and that was it. And that's
Sonic 2006, I suppose.
There you go. That's fucking... I own Sonic 2006, but... Yeah, fuck, that's a different story.
But it's just because a collection that you can't actually enjoy or appreciate is worthless. I mean...
Well, it's the point of... A game is just to kill time and enjoy maybe your friend or two with you around it.
Yeah.
And you know, if it's a shitty game but you're still having a good time, man, fuck it, enjoy it, man. That's awesome. If you're having a shitty time but you're still having fun, that's fuck it.
Sonic 2006.
How many times have we screwed? I had migraines over that fucking game.
We did sit and I mean, you know, we're gonna beat poor Sonic 2006 into the rug, but if one game deserves it, it's that one. Sat and screamed for hours. A lot of times, I remember kids coming in and very misinformed, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
We would call them, what, Neskers, because...
Oh, Neskers, yeah.
Well, Neskers are because they would say NES, and it's NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, we're curious, I'm sorry.
Any of you saying NES out there are saying it wrong.
Or the SNESes.
SNES.
The Super SNESes would always make me laugh.
Also,
Super SNES.
the Esker part is because they were Wesker, like
Wesker and Resident Evil.
Because he never shut up.
He would come out of fucking nowhere.
He's a
talk
know-it-all.
about weird shit. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? God.
So they were Nesters, and they would be very misinformed. Like they would point at the Nintendo 64 and call it,
that was the first Nintendo console, bro. And his friends were like, just believe him, like, whoa!
See, they annoyed me the most because they were buying these things, had no idea why, and I believe it's because they thought they were worth something, which is the big resale myth about these old games.
Oh my god, like fucking TV shows, like not.
You're talking the one where they were going through the storage lockers.
Storage units, yeah, and like they find like the old like 0-1 units of NES, and he's like, this one's worth a couple $1,000.
And he was really embarrassed. I believe that guy committed suicide a little while ago.
Oh my god, I am so sorry.
no, it's fine. It's just but I was reading an article right off of Yahoo talking about the worth of games, and every time there's an article on the news about one of the about like track and field, the tournament edition.
Fucking track and field. We have a track and field too sitting in the store, and everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna buy that game right there. I'm like, you do know that's not the $1,000
the $10,000 game, because
whatever.
every time one of those stories would come on, we would see an influx of people with classic games. Didn't have to be the one they were not talking about on the TV.
Yeah,
it was just an influx of classic games, and they would stand there wondering why we're giving pennies for the 80th copy of Where's Waldo for NES we have,
or baseball.
Anticipation
that we have something else. Goddamn,
it's just because it's just this myth that just because it's older it's worth something. And I saw an article saying that like Mario Kart 64 was worth $2,500. Not even brand new. Maybe if it's signed by Shigeru Miyamoto, maybe then would it be worth that much. But it just isn't. It's the same thing with Beanie Babies.
I brought up Beanie Babies in the store every goddamn time when like somebody brings up Skylar's. How come this is worth blah 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 and I paid this much blah blah blah? I'm like, Beanie Babies.
Yeah, Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies, man.
We have in the store. We had back when I was working there, the silver Spyro that the owner got while she was at E3. This silver Spyro sold for what, about 125, 200?
Yeah, it was about 150, 120 around that age.
And it actually sold. Now, anybody who bought that thinking, I'm going to keep this and resell it someday, is kidding themselves.
Yeah, because we urged our owner to sell it online immediately because we were seeing a decrease in the value, and we're like, we don't want to get the worst. So I'm like,
Skylanders is still a pretty popular game, but I believe as far as collections go, I think most collectors have kind of just almost given up because they didn't necessarily overstock the market with specific ones. They overstock the market with a plethora of different ones. Like, it's almost impossible to have a complete, almost like Pokemon these days.
Pokemon, yeah. Oh my god, fucking Pokemon.
You can't catch them all anymore without like a cheating device for one, but it's so much work to catch the majority.
And amiibos are actually coming up being this bad as well. I'm sorry to say that.
Oh, scalping is terrible.
Scalping is terrible, and they're going to be releasing like second editions with different forms of the same characters. And we'll have our buddy Tim come on later on. He'll
talk about amiibos.
He's a
big fan of amiibos, but that's the thing right there is they're not going to be worth the amount that people believe they are someday. I mean, I just personally, my big bragging thing is my Majora's Mask 3DS.
Yeah.
My God, when they announced that, I was on the GameStop website hitting F5 fast enough for my finger to bleed. I got my pre-order and just bragged for days.
And I went on there 20 minutes after the announcement, and I couldn't fucking get it.
I tried to wake you up.
I'm fucking sorry. On my day off, I like to try to fucking sleep at 8 o'clock.
There is no sleeping when Majora's Mask 3DS is involved.
But 20 minutes is so fucking bullshit, man.
Well, anyway, even if that does become a collector's item someday and people are looking for it brand new, it won't be worth a college tuition. It'll be worth maybe $1,000.
And that kind of goes into a point too, where is it worth more to you than money at that point because you spent so much time?
It was really hard because when I got mine, they were selling for $1,000, and it was really hard to convince myself not to go back on there and scalp it, but I can't. I'm such a Nintendo fanboy, and I can't support scalping.
No, I understand.
And my cousin Jimmy, actually, I showed it off to him. I was bragging at him on St. Patrick's Day parade in Milwaukee this past Saturday, shaking his face and goes, "Oh, that must have put you back a pretty penny." I was like, "No, I don't support scalpers. I got this legit."
And this can go back to our previous topic that we were talking about when people were bringing in items in the store, because like that having a personal value to the items that you have that you're trying to sell to another second source. You know, it's like, I'm only getting that much, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, man, I'm sorry. This is how much the market is. Too bad. I'm sorry, it's not as valuable as you may think it is because of your personal value. Because I have games in my collection that I love so much, but they only sell for like $2 or $3. Like Max Payne for original Xbox. God, I fucking love Max Payne on the original Xbox. Sells for $2 or $3. I would pay another $60 again.
Well, let's see.
Because I play the shit out of that game.
The two games I have that are worth a significant amount more than when they were originally out are Earthbound, which I am currently trying to sell because I believe that, first of all, if I'm ever going to use it, there's no point in looking at it because I have the digital copy, I don't have the nostalgia factor tied to it, and I need the money more than I need another game. And Snow Brothers for the NES, one of the greatest games ever made.
I remember playing first time playing with you in the store.
I don't care for people who I don't care about the people saying it's just Bubble Bobble with snowmen.
Actually, I quite enjoyed that game. That was actually a good time playing with another person.
I grew up loving that game, and it's I believe it's up to about, the last time I checked, it was about 80.
That's still a pretty good chunk of change right there.
But that one is never leaving.
I know.
I will die with that game in my hands if I have to.
Copy of GoldenEye. I told my siblings that is being buried with me.
See,
I don't give a fuck.
That's the thing is I've let go of my Super Nintendo and my Nintendo 64 when I was a stupid high school kid. But the Super Nintendo was a different story. I'll get into that some other day. But I had no problems letting that one go. I still kept my copy of 7 Stars Mario RPG though, because that was the game I loved most on that system. Mm-hmm. The game will never be worth enough to justify having a huge collection.
I know this is probably an off-topic question, but do you think games nowadays can be nostalgic? Even because nostalgic is supposed to be like for the past, and feeling that warm, fuzzy feelings you have every time you play Mario 3 or like Kirby or on the Game Boy. Can you think that you can pop in a game now today that you probably just played like maybe 6 months ago up to a year and go, wow, this is fucking great?
Well, World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft?
I mean, I'm never going to... See, World of Warcraft, I have a real love-hate relationship with. I can remember winter break, being home, and sitting up all night and having the sun come up and just snow outside. Yeah. I can remember playing, getting my coffee and playing some more. That's a real nostalgic feeling. I mean, I probably can't play the game because it just, I think I grew out of being interested in it. It's still such a fantastic franchise, and I honestly believe you never really truly give it up. You kind of just postpone your next playthrough. It's just I'm not a fan of the end game stuff, and you get to that point where the game really drags in certain areas, and that's what kind of killed it for me.
Sure.
As far as games I'll look back on fondly that I'm playing now, I'm sure I'll look at Elite Dangerous and remember just sitting on my little awful broken rocking chair over there, drinking a beer and having my cat sit on the back of the chair while I shoot pirates down. Is going to be one of those feelings that I'm just going to go, let's do that now.
I think one of mine, personally, it's still pretty new, not too old though, is probably Portal 2. I played the shit out of that game. I can play the shit out of that game. I love Portal. I pre-ordered that. I remember just playing with my friends and my family. I got to co-op with everybody. I can pick up that game and just go and no problem. I love the story. I love everything. I feel nostalgic just thinking about it right now, and I want to go back to it.
Was that? No, I think it was BioShock Infinite was the race against.
BioShock Infinite at work, when we got that. Cause
our boss and her son got it too, and they are huge BioShock fans.
Yes.
So
and we were also BioShock fans, and we love the franchise.
I don't think to that degree, because that is BioShock 2 was our boss's favorite game.
I was actually my second choice besides Portal 2 would be also BioShock for nostalgia for me because I was in college at the time, and
but they were playing through it, and we knew they were going to ruin the ending. So
we wanted to get the ending first before they did.
Going back to Portal 2, I remember I knew the end of the game was coming. I ordered a full, large buffalo chicken topper for Coppers, had it delivered because I knew I had to make the most out of the ending because I knew it was going to be epic, and it was. Oh man, if you haven't played through that game yet, it's just and it was so wonderful because I always guess endings and I didn't see it. It was such.
I don't want to do spoilers or anything spoilers right now, but when Wheatley took over, I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
The way Wheatley is defeated.
I know!
They
so
hint
good.
at it, and I never saw it coming.
Like, when I first saw it, I'm like, fuck you. That was my first words when I said, fuck you. And I'm like, yes!
I do not... I talk a lot when I play games, and yeah. I think I'm a lot funnier than I am. But at that moment is one of the few times in gaming when I was just like, "Holy shit, yes!" so yeah. I mean, and if God forbid I ever have offspring, I probably will be introducing my younger ones to this game.
There was a guy I was reading an article about. He was teaching his son about video games, but he says, well, we're going to work all the way up, and I'm going to teach you a history lesson of video games.
Oh, God.
But he basically was like, okay, you're going to play Asteroids and blah, blah, blah. And he'd play those for like a week or so, and then he'd move up to the next system, just so he can have appreciation and understanding of what games were and where they are now.
So, actually, that's a really good segue into our current topic. Can younger kids really enjoy these games with the competition that we have? Like, if you had to sit there, you're 6 years old, and we'll plop you down in front of one of your favorites, Yonoid.
Uh-huh.
And on the other TV, we'll have, Far Cry 4.
I always talk about games like that, too. Sorry, like, what games would blow the fuck out of my mind
as a kid?
As a kid, what the games that I play now. Then I'm just, like, strolling across, like, oh, this is fine.
Another example of my childhood, I remember Toys R Us. When the Nintendo 64 was first out for sale, I remember staring at Mario 64.
Oh my god,
Nintendo 64 was my first love, my first unrequited love, because I never got the system as a kid, but I would have killed anybody.
We've talked about this for a whole summer, like how much we would have killed for a 64.
If a crazy man had come up to me with a syringe full of air and said, "Go get your mom. I'll give you a 64." I would have been running. I wanted that. Oh, man.
I love the 64. It's probably my ultimate favorite system.
I had dreams about Mario 64. It
was great.
Completely blew my mind. Just staring at it. I remember.
I love the design of the system. I love the controller. I fuck all those haters out there. I do love the controller design. I think
absolutely.
It's great.
It's so just iconic.
I have my Nintendo 64's barcode tattooed on my body. I love it.
On the back of his neck, he does. We tried scanning it. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work because it's the interfere, because I put a little designer on it so I don't look too gay.
Truth be told, in pony fashion, your cutie mark would probably be a 64 controller. Mine would be the NES.
What would be the NES64 literally with a spinning logo in? God, I love that logo. So I thought about that many times.
getting that tattoo.
Actually, legitimately spinning around on my ass.
You got to get it moving. Oh god! Get holographic so when you shake your ass, it spins. Well, that's a good vision for everybody who knows.
You guys will enjoy my hairy ass with the Nintendo 64 logo.
Oh, dear.
But anyways, back to where, if you kids you actually enjoy the classic titles? I think some of them would, because a game is a game, man. If you actually enjoy it, but there is a lot of stiff competition out there. Because I look at my nephews. My nephews play a lot of PlayStation 3 now. I mean, they grew up, they had the Wii, and I think my brother-in-law, he also had the Super Nintendo. They played a little bit of that, and, they were like, man, that's all right. But when I come over on the holidays, I would bring over a lot of my classic stuff, and me and my other brother-in-law, we would just go to town playing Super Mario World, and we would be screaming at each other, just like having a good time at Thanksgiving, because whatever, it's fun. It's like, and just... But the kids would actually huddle around this TV watching us play Super Mario World, and I'm like looking at them, and I'm like, I wonder if they're actually getting engaged in it, or if they're not wanting to play at all. But I know they want to play, but I don't know how to word this well.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I know they want to play, but I think they just don't know
why.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid that we worked with, would always do that every game you were playing. He would want to try, I suppose, just to play it his way and see what it's like.
Yeah.
But that's another thing is I tried to get him interested. He was 10 years old. Tried to get him interested in when Ocarina of Time came back out for the 3DS. I tried to show him what it was like because that was another game that I truly loved growing up. And he was just not interested in the least. And it's a little heartbreaking, even if it's somebody...
Oh, I had dreams about that game. I wanted that game.
Even if it was somebody that you're not that close to see that someone could just kind of shrug it off, something that you love so deeply, is a little heartbreaking right there. Yeah. I mean, I hear Miyamoto's own kids aren't gamers, and I can only imagine what that's like.
Well, I want to put it in maybe a different perspective too, because like we both had those feelings when we were looking at these new games that are coming out, and we're just like, we thought they were just majestic as fuck, and we were like just captive by this, and we dream about them.
Should we doom a game right now and say No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. It looks so great.
Because when we say that now, we'll look back at this recording in a couple of years and go, oh man,
it was okay. But like, do you
Dishonored? When it was first announced, it wasn't even brought up during the big shows at E3.
Yeah, and then you showed it to me. Like, did you see this game?
I saw a flicker of it, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" And we looked it up, and it looked incredible.
Oh my god, dude! Like fucking sold me. Like the guy who worked on Half-Life 2 with the concept art was on this game. I'm like, oh my god, yes!
Hyping about using these powers however you wanted, freeze time, take control of your enemy, walk him in front of his own bullet, and then let time go so he ends up shooting himself.
I was coming in my pants, out of my ass, all over the place.
Well, you could do that, but I mean, the game turned out so much smaller than we were hoping.
It was a lot of it was very anticlimactic. Yeah, when we got it, it was like, oh, it's not as big, and I don't get all my powers, which I like, fine, that's cool. But your major problem was, after you beat the game,
you don't get to keep anything. Yeah. There's no replay value there then. Okay, start over. Yeah. And it was, especially with a game with a karma meter, where you could play it evil or good, you want replay value?
Yeah, you wanted to go back there, but you had no incentive to go.
And I mean, that was just right there, killed the game for me. But
we can bring that up on another topic, one other week of almost perfect games.
Again, with the fierce competition these kids have with other games these days compared to classics, I mean, there's the argument right there.
Well, my point was what I'm trying to get to. It's like, do you think kids have like the same feel of the games when they're looking at, like, say, Call of Duty or Halo 4 or whatever that came out? They're looking at like, oh my god, they're so into it, because you can see all these fanboys like, oh god, like, that was us, man. Well, that was us sitting in there. But do you think that some of them maybe also have the anticipation for like those older games, but they can't have the anticipation because they have the instant satisfaction of grabbing it off a ROM? Am I answering my own fucking questions right here?
Could be. I don't think kids look back and say, "Ooh, that game looks great." I think they look back and say, "That looks like shit. Let's try it." Kind of like, that's the thing is, I remember Star Tropics 2, seeing that was announced in stores and just flipping out for it.
Sure.
Because I loved the first one. Mm-hmm. I can't see any kid doing that these days and say, "There's a second Star Tropics?" Yes, because
with the power of the internet, you can just have instant gratifications and find out.
Not even instant gratification. It's just because graphics have come such a long way and everything else, and there's just no reason that I can't imagine a kid actually enjoying these games the same way we did.
Probably. Too, like the difficulty we struggled day and night with.
And then back then. There's also the argument is the reason that we were playing these games is it's all we had. And your game collection and my game collection were probably vastly different. But growing up, I was young, but I had like 25 NES games, and I thought I had them all.
Yeah, I had maybe about like 15 to 20, and it was a great collection. Even though I had Simon's Quest 2, which was so fucking hard. Watching my dad play that. He beat that fucking game. I have no idea how he beat that. He beat that fucking game. I watched him, but it was amazing.
Yeah, Fester's Quest.
That game was fucking hard.
It was hard. It was terrible. I had McKids growing up.
McKids,
and the thing is, I had it and played it unironically because it's all I had. And once you get sick, you've got a limited number of games there, and a lot of them are very similar. I mean, that was. the kids is just Super Mario Brothers 2. And, I mean, after a while, you just play everything you own
we were more accepting, I think, with classic games back then because, like, oh, it was just another game of, like, Totally Rad. Totally Rad was another game for the NES. I slapped it in there, and I'm like, oh, I got a power up. I just run and kind of shoot. It's very extreme 90s cheese. The cover's 90s cheese. The sound is 90s cheese. It's fucking glorious 90s cheese of balls. Oh, so good. But the game is kind of shit.
Yeah.
But I played it as a kid, and I accepted it. I'm like, oh, it's just another fucking game. And I played it. I didn't care if it was fun, I guess, for that point. I was just having a good time just playing this stupid game.
Yeah, I mean, the first and only game I've ever actually broken was when I was young, and it wasn't because the game was frustrating, because the game was frustrating. It was Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh, that fucking...
It was because I wanted to be a game designer, and I wanted to know what was inside of it. So I cracked it open with a hammer because I'm dumb.
Yeah.
And I knew I'd never miss that game because I hated it so much.
You're a fucking moron for one.
But
your game's open.
That game was. Oh, man. You make anybody who says that Dead Souls is tough, make them play the original Ghosts and Goblins.
You just made a lot of like collectors cry by saying you bashed your copy.
I know I did. I was young and dumb, and I had Castlevania 3, so it didn't matter. But back to the appreciating these games without the nostalgia factor. Like I said last week that I introduced Kelsey to Pokemon Red, and she claims to this day that she really did enjoy that game.
Yeah.
But now that she's played Alpha Sapphire, I don't think I'll ever get her back to Pokemon Red.
Yeah, you might. I mean, I'm currently playing X and Y with my girlfriend. I know that's been out for a while. We just have a huge library to go through, but I still want to go back to Red and Blue and actually still play that. I mean, even talking today, like I might want to pick up Pokemon Yellow French and actually learn and
You say that? Have you looked at it lately?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I work at a fucking video game store. Yeah, of course I do.
No, not the game itself. Have you actually put it in and looked at how the game used to look?
Yeah.
Those Pokemon sprites are hideous.
They're a little blurry, but
they're not blurry. They are ugly. They are ugly, ugly sprites. The Pokemon used to look horrific.
I didn't mind it again. I guess I'm more like brought up like I was brought up on Atari, man. I guess I just don't give a fuck.
I suppose.
I mean, I had dots to work with asteroids, and
I mean, nostalgia factor right there. I mean, remember, I loved Dark Cloud growing up.
I get a lot of people like, yeah, man, I love Dark Cloud. Every time he buys Dark Cloud,
was my first PlayStation 2 game. I loved that game. I was like looking back at it a couple of months ago when I was still working at Gorilla and saying, hey, let's play this. And I quickly realized that it's past. I can't play it. If you haven't tried it again, if you loved it back then and haven't tried it since.
Some games just don't age well. Man.
Oh, it did not.
I think we can actually bring that up in a different topic another time. Games that just didn't age well.
That'll be a good topic for another day.
Yeah. Because I have a list. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
Should we start doing final thoughts?
Final thoughts would be a good idea.
Yes, of course.
Let's see here. What are you playing this week?
I'm still playing my PS4 shit. I mean, I've been working a lot lately, but I jumped back on Wolfenstein, and Kelly was over, my girlfriend, and I was finally showing it to her, and we were having a good time, and it's pretty engaging. A little bit of Killzone on my PS4. Not as thrilled with that one. The visuals are stunning. Again, nothing really enthralling me into the storyline, though. Nothing like BioShock or anything like that. Actually, Wolfenstein storyline is really engaging more than anything right now for me. As soon as I'm done, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to play next.
Right now I'm playing Far Cry 4.
Oh, yeah, that's on my list, too.
I picked it up because of the wonderful Steam sale.
Yeah, the Ubisoft on Steam sale.
Ubisoft Weekend on Steam.
Yeah.
I picked up Assassin's Creed 4 and Far Cry 4. Assassin's Creed...
Brotherhood? No. Black Flag.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah.
But Far Cry 4, a game with the cutscene, I had to replay the cutscene because I had forgotten to save. Mm-hmm. But...
That cutscene's so good, though.
It doesn't let you skip it, which kind of bummed me out until I got to the villain.
Oh. But that's the cool part.
He is fantastic.
I love the fucking villain in Far Cry 4. He is
right
so
there
great.
Was the reason to sit and watch it again, and then I'm sitting there playing the game, and just I don't care about the plight or the golden path. I want to just hang out with the bad guy.
I do too.
Fuck the rest of the game.
I kind of want to work for the bad guy. I'm like, you are fucking nuts, and I'm going to fucking join you.
He just seemed like kind of reminded me of Heath Ledger's Joker. I want the entire thing to be about him. Just hang out with him. Let's go do shit. I don't care who you tell me to kill. Let's do it. You're hilarious. They just don't do villains right anymore, and he is glorious.
Yeah. I think that's next on my list, actually, when after I'm done playing Wolfenstein, is Far Cry 4, beating that with my girl.
I'm also playing, of course, Elite Dangerous and the remake of Majora's Mask. Mm-hmm. Taking it really slow because A, I've beaten the game before, and B, here it is again, the whole theory behind the game, the 5 stages of grief theory, the Link is dead theory, which is awesome. Just looking for hints as I go.
It's not a theory, I think it's a fact that he is...
Well, it's a fact that he dies before... Hero of Time Link dies before...
in the woods. I know he dies in the woods and he loses those stuff. Yeah, never mind.
No, he dies and becomes a Stalfos because he's in the woods. Yeah. But he dies before Twilight Princess. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say when. So is he dead already, or does he die sometime after the events in Termina?
We might get another game actually explaining that, hopefully.
Hopefully. But it really is one of my favorites. A lot of the changes, I can see why they did it. Some of the changes kind of bum me out. Some of them are a good time saver. You're polishing a game that was already amazing, and there's no problem in that. If it makes more people enjoy something that I really loved, fantastic. Yeah. Other than that, let's go ahead and close it up for the night. We did. If you haven't noticed yet, we actually added a new Facebook group. To find us on Facebook at NullSpace. We've also got a Twitter account, NullSpace. That time, space is spelled with a Y, because I couldn't get the original NullSpace. Somebody else has it. I'm sure you're up to something good. I haven't checked, but we're also at NullSpace with a Y. .blogspot.com for our blog. I just threw up my review for Elite Dangerous, so if you're interested and haven't taken a look yet, please do. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, email me at scottnull@gmail.com. Support us. If you see the donation button, you feel like donating. If you like what we're doing, please do.
Maybe I can actually start doing some YouTube stuff too. Like, I want to do some reviews, and I would like to do some little animations as well.
Absolutely, Jerry. I look forward to see what you have to say. Feel free to post on the blog. You're now an author on the blog as well. Yay! So, donate, support us, contact us, share us, love us.
We just want to have fun, that's all.
All right, everybody.
Happy gaming!